Let our viewers know we've got Peter in the chair. We've got our cameras both at the Justice Department and on the big board with about 4 minutes now. 4 minutes to go. I just grabbed trader Tim Anderson. Dow down 102 points. You need to just simply tell me, because as I was making notes this morning, and everything changes, you know, throughout the day, I wrote down, look, after yesterday's big gains, is it time to book profits?
Well, there's certainly nothing wrong with taking profits after a very large move that we've had, both since the first of the year and yesterday, and even since the election. But I do think that the foundation for the rally underneath, technically, is still very strong. We've had 5 or 6 weeks in a row. We've had about 5 weeks in a row of weekly all-time closing highs for the S&P and the NASDAQ. And the same thing for the Dow 4 of the last 5 weeks. So we're down about 0.5% right now.
You know, Hank, as we were talking about the Trump trade, as some people have turned to call it, a lot of spending, infrastructure plans, and not to mention a hopeful tax cut that, you know, Neil Cavuto spoke with Steven Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary, yesterday, who said not only would there be one floated around August, but it would be signed and it would be sealed and it would be delivered. What will that do to the markets as we continue to lose ground, folks? We're at 21,005 points, 5 points away from losing the 21,000 status. Go ahead, Hank.
Liz, I think it'll be very beneficial to the market, but this isn't, you know, Trump inherited a very strong hand. The so-called industrial earnings recession ended in the third quarter. PMIs, both in the U.S. and globally, are increasing, and he hasn't really done anything yet other than the fact that CEO confidence has spiked, consumer confidence has spiked, and so that is tremendous momentum for this economy.
There you go. Sorry to interrupt. We're below 21,000 for a second there, and this is interesting to me, Tim, because Art Cashin, who runs floor operations here, just ran by me and said about 4.5 minutes ago, $200 million to buy on the close. Wouldn't that mean that we'd see a move to the upside?
Well, it's certainly going to give the market some support. And, you know, one other interesting thing to me is that gold is down $15 today. It had a big move. It's still above the 1220 level it broke out from a month ago. But gold being down $15 is not really indicative of a risk-off day.
Yeah, and by the way, 100 points down is only 0.5% on the Dow Jones Industrial. So, folks, don't, you know, I always get this, Liz, you're so dramatic. Number one, my mother's a theater actress, okay? So what do you want from me? Number two, listen, a move is a move. So we're watching this closely, Hank. And again, it makes you wonder if what's on the left side of the screen is shaking slightly the confidence of the markets on the right-hand side of the screen.
We have been spoiled for the better part of several months with lack of volatility, but you brought up a great point. 100 points isn't what it used to be, and it's still well below 1%. That said, we have been in a very low volatility kind of environment for the past several months, and no one knows when that will change. Just enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, okay, I know it, and as we're watching, we are pretty much just slightly above session lows here, down 110 points, and you're hearing the cheers. A lot of that has got to be for what is an epic IPO. Snap will close up more than 44% on its first day of trade. Folks, we remind you, much can happen in a couple of years, but for now, it's the star of the session. We've got 9 seconds to go. We're at the 21,000 level, folks. 21,003. Will we close above it? Too close to call. I'm going to leave that to Melissa and David.